Hey guys, it's Charlotte here with Dragonfly Soul Healing. So I know it's been a while since I've done a video and readings or anything like that. It's really important for you to listen to your soul, and when your soul tells you you need to take a break and shift your perspective and kind of step back and get back in tune with yourself, it's very important to do so. And so that's what I've been doing over the last, I don't even remember when the last time I did a video was, like 9 months ago. If we're being real, it's probably been about that long. But you know what? It was very necessary, and a lot has changed over this last 9 months. So I just want to do a reading, just a kind of general reading to see what's going on with us. I know lots changed over this last little while, and it seems like over this last few months here, 2-3 months, we've really been awakened to some truths. I feel like that's been the biggest thing, is so much clarity has come about in our lives for a purpose that kind of helps us in such a way that didn't feel fun for a very long time. It was tough. But you know what, guys? We pushed through. And, if you're here today, it means you survived everything that the universe has put you through. And when we really stop and take inventory on everything that's transpired in our world, our whole life, not just over the last couple weeks, not over, just the last few months, but when you really stop and think about everything that's happened in your life, all the lessons that you learned, the things that seemed like really shitty circumstances that ended up turning into beauty. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. This card, Change Your Focus, was on the bottom of the deck before I even started this. I shuffled. It's the first card to fly out naturally. Changing your focus, right? That's been what we've been doing. I feel like for the last few months, for sure, 3 to 6 months, everything's been changing. All of our circumstances, the people in our lives, everything shifted in such a way. These cards are really talking today. And we need to change our focus, right? So say if you're not looking at your life properly right now, if you're not allowing the universe to show you what the truth, then it's a lot harder. And that's why they're like, change your focus. Change your focus from, it's like, okay, see, it's like you only have one vision, right? And really it's like you got to get rid of this square. Right? Why are we living in a box still? What is it something about the box. It's kind of like you've put yourself in this box, caging yourself up or something. It's like you only have one thought on your mind, but the reality is you've closed in, and now it's all foggy all around you. Right? It's all foggy all around you, and you can't actually see properly. And why is that? Because you're trying to balance. You're trying to balance the yin and the yang, right? The feminine and masculine energies in yourself. There's a need to balance, and now we've got 2 number 5s here, right? 14 is 5 and 5, 55, change. 5s are all about change, right? Healing begins. So it just shows you that all these things that have happened over this last couple months here, they've been tough, yes, but they were tough for a reason. They helped you push through these barriers. It's like this is part of the reason why they're saying change your focus, is because it's like you're so dedicated towards something for so long without realizing that that was only one step of your journey. It was only one part. I found that ever since I started my spiritual journey, it was like every time I thought I was going somewhere, I knew I was going, and I just had a better understanding. It was like once I grasped that and accepted that as my change, where I was going, they changed it again, right? It was like, okay, you learned the lesson from this. You allowed us to bring you to this place, but really it's just like a stop in the journey, right? We go through these things, just like when you disappear for 9 months. It's the same kind of thing where it's like you have to change your focus. You have to regroup. Right? And really change who you are for the better. And it's really tough sometimes, and sometimes you have to just do things you don't want to. But at the end of the day, it brings you to such a beautiful place. So right now it's like really focusing on balancing your emotions and being able to really work well with yourself. I can't even speak today. Okay. Working with yourself to accept all parts of you, right? Balancing the masculine and feminine energies, where it's like you're not too sensitive all the time. You're actually accepting the dark parts of you, the parts of you that people don't like to see all the time, parts that you don't like to show people. You have to work on that and heal it. And healing is a lot of just acceptance. Healing is accepting all of the things that you've been through as lessons learned, and not things that happened to you, but what happened for you. Because at the end of the day, you will see why this all transpired, for yourself. It's just hard to see it in the moment. And so it's telling you to move, right? Move from these situations that no longer serve your highest good. Whatever it is that they're asking you to change your focus about and start the healing process, it's like, what do you need to change in your life? What is it that needs to change? I got 5, 6, 7, 8. That's awesome. It's just like we're going through the journey, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. We're getting closer to the end. In tarot, your elements only go to 10, and then it's like a rebirth. And we've gone through several rebirths, and right now we're going through another one. We've come to a lot of ends in situations where everything's just shifted, and everything's coming together just beautifully, right? Coming together. This one here is all about how everything is balancing, right? The balance card here is saying everything's balancing. Why? Because you dedicated yourself. You got the dedicated effort. That painting, it's taking a long time to make it. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful portrait. And so it's really showing you that right now, even though things are kind of up in the air and things kind of aren't where we expect them to be, and things have shifted in ways where you just didn't even expect them to shift. There's so many things that have just changed over this last 2 months where it's just like, what just happened? I was just going and going and everything was good and everything was fine, and all of a sudden we're just here? What happened? What happened is we spent a lot of time changing who we were. And as the soul shifts and we raise our vibration and change our vibrations, the universe takes us to our next step in the journey. It's like they keep showing me like a board game and how you keep advancing, right, to the next level. And sometimes, like in Monopoly, you go to jail, so you're kind of stuck for a while. It's kind of like these things where it's like sometimes you repeat these cycles until they're ready, but then when you do have a major death of like a soul death, you go through the dark night of the soul and you really have to sit with your own shit and focus on it and change those parts of you that you don't like. All of a sudden everything changes, everything moves really quickly. Dedicated effort creates movement. Why? Because you're healing. And so with all this healing, you're changing everything. And now it's time to detach. It's almost like there's not a whole lot you can do right now. Other than focusing on yourself, it's like you need to remove yourself from that. They're showing me the winter in the card, and it's kind of like that death right now. That's what we're really going through, is we're really learning how to, it's like starting fresh, right? It's like we went through such a major change over this last month to 2 months that all of a sudden it's like you're starting from fresh, like a teenager when you first move out of your parents' house and you don't know what you're doing. And it's like we're starting fresh on this journey, and sure, we've been living and doing all this shit for a while, but everything's so different. And how did all of a sudden it become so different overnight? So right now we're going through a major phase of changing everything that we once knew, once understood, once thought to be ours or true has all changed. Everything's changed. It's like the universe took everything that wasn't necessary and just wiped the slate clean. And it's like you're starting on a fresh slate, and you still have these lessons. you know, because we're definitely still carrying some burdens and baggage with us. But the thing is that baggage isn't as heavy as it once was. The card Daydreams and Decisions comes up as well. And, you know, she's got the heart around her, she's making a heart at her heart. And it's kind of like needing to come to that place of peace. That's where it's like a lot of decisions will be made when you take the time to allow yourself to sit alone and understand what it is that they're trying to show you. Because it's like there's some major decisions that need to be made over the next probably couple months, but for a lot of you it's like the next couple weeks where like major things are just gonna like shift and you're gonna have to decide. And so right now they're like detach from all of everybody. Anybody who's not serving your highest good. It doesn't mean you can't be friends with anybody anymore, nothing like that. It means, you know what, sometimes all those external influences and opinions, they just cloud your judgment. Your soul knows what you need. You know what you need. You don't need anybody to tell you what you need to do, with who, how to do it, where to do it, why. Fuck everybody and their opinions, alright? Take offense to it if you want. But really, let's be raw here. Who's living your life every single day? You live with yourself every day for the rest of your life. So your decisions that you make are all, they affect you and nobody else. Everybody may think that your decisions affect them. It's only because of their ego getting in the way. Stop allowing what everybody else thinks and decides of you to change anything about you. You have to stop it. You know, I'll be the blunt one that says it, because whatever, you can just unlike my page and carry on with your life if you don't like it, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to change who I am because you don't like my opinions, and it should be the same for yourself. You should not be changing who you are to, you know, this is where the healing is. It's like you need to detach from this. Detach from giving a shit what anybody thinks about you. Like, right now. Because who gives a fuck what anybody thinks about you? You are your own being. You have your own opinions. We all walk home in our own way. You know, we all decide and think and understand things in our own way. So stop allowing other people to decide what you're allowed to think and feel and hear and believe. I mean, the biggest thing right now is to let go of all that ego, right? We need to push forward. It's always about unconditional love. Well, you can love somebody but still believe your own beliefs. Got a little aggressive there, so let's just carry on forward. So I got cards here about some animals. It's kind of like right now you're learning how to be powerful. You know, this card here says it's safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. And that's exactly true, right? It's like, you know, at the end of the day, people are going to get it. There's just going to be people that get offended. Why? Because they can't see it from your perspective. Does that mean you should get offended? No. Be powerful in your own way. Sometimes your power scares people. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all about being your true self gives you the opportunity to help shift others' perspectives. And if it doesn't, that's okay. But at the end of the day, you have to be you. We're really pushing on that a lot today. The whole, you know, it's always self-love. You guys know that I always push it. It's a thing. A lot of you are needing to, pets card. It's like some of you have really deep connections with animals, and I feel like others of you really need to, like, something about your animals. So I don't know, maybe paying attention to how your animals are acting right now, because there's something changing in the energy. It's like there's a need to really connect, though, because they're saying don't compromise on your dreams. You know, and you have the daydreams and decisions here, and it's like you've put in this dedicated effort, so don't allow somebody to just change all of this hard work that you've put into it. And I don't really know what that means. Some of you could be like supposed to work with animals, Like that could be just part of your gifts. Your spiritual gifts are helping animals, being very empathetic. But it's kind of like finding a way to connect to yourself, because the only way to reach your dreams with less effort, because at the end of the day, we all find a way to reach our dreams. Sometimes it just takes longer, right? So the more that you allow yourself to detach from all these outside influences, you'll be able to move forward with all these daydreams that you have, these dreams that you've been wanting to come true for so long. Those can come about if you're making sure that you're connecting with yourself. They're still going to come about, they come harder, right? And we've learned a lot of hard lessons. You know, each and every one of you that watches this video, that's on my page, we've all went through hard lessons to really make us appreciate simplicity when it comes about. I think I'm going to pull a couple cards from this. How long am I at? 16 minutes. Of course I am. It always happens. Okay, so let's see what else they want to say here. 5 of Earth. Fear surrounding money. The wisdom to accept help from others. Uncertain self-employment. And that's where you got to make sure you're not like giving your power away, right? It's like when you live in fear, you have less, right? When you fear about not having enough money, you lack money. When, you know, what you put out to the universe is what they give back to you. Page of Water. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. Heightened psychic abilities. Okay, they're throwing them all over the floor tonight. It's not even nighttime. Okay. It seems like there's a lot of things. I feel like the biggest thing is there's so much spiritual transformation that's happened over this last little while. You know, that's why we go through the dark night of the soul, is to really, when we finally decide to push ourselves out of the dark night of the soul and finally are like done having our pity party, we go through the transformation. And that's where like this water, the emotion comes up, and it's like there's this new phase coming in. And so we're having new people come into our world. Our psychic abilities are changing because we're stepping into our own, right? We're changing our focus, we're balancing ourselves out, and it's creating a lot of really good things coming to us. But the Five of Pentacles is always about like feeling left out and left behind and those kinds of things. And it's like, that's where you have to let go of that ego. Is like, if you feel like you're being left behind, it's not true. You know, it's only your ego saying that, because you're always on the right path in the right moment. You know, like you're always doing what you're supposed to be doing. The Emperor comes up as well. It says organization, logic, structure and discipline, leadership. And I feel like really, you know, like it's cut right on top of this powerful card where it says it's safe for you to be powerful. You know, and it's kind of like, you know how to use your power. So stop being afraid to use it. Stop being afraid to speak up to people and using your voice, because your voice is very powerful. Let's see, I did this past life regression, and there's this card here. I found it the other day. It says, I am powerful. It is safe for me to be powerful in this life. It is safe to share my knowledge and my wisdom. I stand in my power. I freely express myself. People need to hear my wisdom. It helps them. I open myself to others, and this brings good people into my life. Together, we make a big voice. And, you know, like, that's such an important thing to remind ourselves about is, you know, the reason why it's so important for you to keep working on your spirituality and keep growing is because together we make a big voice. You know, one person can read cards and help a few people, but if we all learn how to open up to our gifts and we all learn the lessons that we need to and really step into our power, together we make a bigger voice. Together, that's how everything shifts. That's how the world changes, is through a collective group. So just step in your power. Don't be afraid to use your voice. And, you know, like, you don't have to be loud and proud right from the get-go, but you know what? Step out of your comfort zone. We're supposed to be changing our focus. Okay. These will be the last two cards I do so that my video is not too long. Um, Ace of Water, falling in love or the resurgence of a relationship, spiritual growth and enhanced intuition, a new home. It's like there's so much stuff changing. You know, for a lot of, it's like there's new jobs, new relationships, new friendships, new homes, like it says here. There's just so much new. Why? Because we're at the beginning. Ace of Water is literally the first card, right? Your number one. And so it's like, yeah, everything's changing, everything's shifting because we're ready to bring this cup to the universe, you know, and just share the love and share everything that we've learned. And that's why they're like, you need to detach from that ego to really step into your power and strength. And the last card we got here is the King of Earth. A successful time. Confidently accept opportunities offered to you. The Midas touch. And you know, he's just smiling, right? And like, look at the beautiful view in the background. You know, you got the rainbow and it's all gold in the background, nature, and he's just happy, you know, and it's like it's taken a long time to get to this point, but at the end of the day, it was well worth it because there's so many rewards coming to you. You know, they're pointing out that you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. You know, you've compromised for far too long. It's very important right now to decide what it is that you want, where it is you want to go, what you want to be, and who you want to go with, right? And maybe you just decide you want to go alone. Maybe you don't even want anybody. It doesn't mean you don't love your friends or your family or anything. Like, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And you decide what it is that you want, nobody else. Take a day to shut off your phone and just step away from people, you know, a day that you can do something like that and just really regroup, you know, because right now we need to figure out where we're going because the universe has changed so much. They've ripped so much stuff out of our lives over this last 8-9 months to bring in this new, to bring in the balance, to bring in the power and strength in us to open up our gifts. So take the opportunities that are in front of you and change all of those things about yourself because it's time to move forward, guys. You guys are kicking ass and I love each and every one of you. So have a great day and I'll talk to you soon.